to be. And Shannon, was connected to me again through Brad. And, when we start speaking about, what is people are meant to be in your field, people are meant to be sharing, I truly believe from my heart about that. And then when I looked into Shannon again, from my soul, I was like, she has got so much in the world to share. She has got so much in the world to inspire, of hope and inspiration and transformation. So a perfect person to actually be here with us at Hit Talks Live. So Shannon, thank you so much, my love, for being with us. And I now give you your 8 minutes to be able to share your message of hope, inspiration, and transformation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm so thrilled that you gave us the opportunity to show up raw and see what came up, because I'm going to share something I haven't shared before, but I'm really excited to have this opportunity to inspire people with some resources. So I was sitting here, and as I'm listening to people, I'm thinking, I had an episode of domestic violence, but was able to really, nip that in the butt and go, this is just not something I want to tolerate. But then I started looking at, what do I share? And at a young age, I was involved in I kept thinking sex is not, things that happen sexually is not necessarily violence, right? But then I had this memory come back of sexual abuse around a satanic cult when I was a child, and thinking, well, this is definitely a form of violence, violating somebody's, at 10 years old, violating somebody's way of being. And what was so fascinating for me was that, the rumors that were going on and the fear that they had created, and knowing that when we're in a violent situation or when we're in things, it's like sometimes there's these stories around us that either we tell ourselves or in the community. And in our community, they kept saying, they're going to sacrifice a virgin, they're going to sacrifice a virgin. And just weird things started happening as a child. And as I got in the situation, a woman ended up taking me to her house and saying, hey, I want you to have a few drinks. And next thing you know, she takes me out in the woods, and one of these individuals was there waiting. And so the first time I ever shared this story was, I often thought, is this real? You know what I mean? It was just so unreal that it was like, is this real? And when I shared the story the first time, the person started laughing and didn't believe me. And I ended up shutting down completely, again, questioning, am I crazy? Is this real? Is this what happened? And I realized years later when I went on a women's retreat, and it was incredible. The woman across me from at breakfast started sharing how she was recovering from satanic abuse. And her story was horrific. Her twin sister, and her sister is actually in a mental ward. She was not able to get beyond what had happened. And it was like that moment. I remember at the retreat, crying for days going, wow, I'm not crazy. This does actually happen. There is this energy that's dark and negative. But yet she was such a light. And the biggest thing that I've gotten, I know that Deidre said this, is the place of secrets, and the place of not talking, and the place of feeling shame or feeling that it's not okay. And right now in my circle, I have deal with a lot of incredible businesswomen, and I have a woman who has been featured in Huffington Post, international speaker, leader, and she came to me and she told me that she got in a relationship with a man that literally beat her to blood in a hotel room, and she hadn't told anybody because she was so humiliated. And I heard some of these similar stories, and it was from connecting with her, she didn't even tell her parents, but she kept having people showing up and looking, she was like, I have this woman showing up and this woman showing up. And it was like God was speaking to her to give it a voice and to come out. And I was here going, girl, people I know we've said, do this for other people, but there is this freedom when we can find somebody that we can connect with, and that we can share with. And it is so important that we stop the silence and that we give it a voice, and to even back it up more is looking for those red flags. There has been so many times where, You know, it's like we get into relationships and we get signs. Like I know, Vicki, you resonated. It's like we get signs all the time. We get messages all the time. And it's, you know, it's like we've been desensitized from tuning in and listening. And then we, you know, then we get into bed together, or then we get into, you know, we get excited, we get focused on the vision. And one of my greatest spiritual teachers told me, it, even at a 99% yes, it's still a no. And so I've had to really look at all of my acts and my relationships and things and going, you know, it's still a no until it's 100% yes. Like being okay with being on the journey and looking. And so really tuning in and knowing, you know, like you mentioned meditation, pausing, but knowing that when there's a red flag, it doesn't mean ignore it. It means pay attention. And because like there are good people that make poor choices, but there are also people that can put on this beautiful face and talk. And I've learned a lot the last few years about, you know, how I love people so much, and I believe what comes out of their mouth. And sometimes they say the right words, or they talk the spiritual talk, and I think, oh, this is great. And then next thing I know, you know, they're on the side abusing somebody verbally and physically. And so I've had to really open to my eyes to, like, not everybody is who they show themselves to be. And it's that gut intuition. It's looking for those red flags, because when I went back and I looked at the individual and how they showed up and what the red flags were, it was like I didn't listen. So, you know, the big thing is to listen and avoid the secrets. I'm so glad, Jag, that you're here and that you have created a safe space. You know, what I encourage you to do is find somebody to share it with, and not to be loathing in it and staying there, but just there's this healing that happens. As Deidre shared, it was like when she first shared, you know, it was like these people were supporting her and loving her and reflecting back the beauty of how she is. And I can't say enough that if somebody comes to you, because a number of years later, I had a employee come to me and actually share with me something that was going on. And because of the rejection and the not showing up and the laughing of the first person I shared, I was able to, you know, as crazy as the story was that the person was saying, it was like I was able to show up and just go, wow, and give them empathy. And it just led into this huge empowerment place for them. So if somebody comes to you with something like this, just be a great sounding board. Just listen. Don't try to fix it. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't have that conversation, but just be there for them. Just ask, just love, believe in what they're saying, even as crazy as, I mean, satanic cults. This is what happens in the world. It's hard to believe. I didn't believe it. And so just believe and just love and show up. And so I have 10 seconds left. Vicki, thank you for, you know, I didn't know I was going to be sharing this today. I love your format, and it was, you know, just beautiful. No more secrets. Let it out.
Perfect timing, perfect timing. And yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And I love the way that you mentioned as well, is because some people do say to me, no, HIT talks, you know, everyone is practiced, everyone, you know, they know what they're talking about. And, you know, you just hit the nail on the head. Yes, you may, but when you're in the energy, especially the energy of this backstream room and backstage room, backstream room, whatever we call it, now we're virtual. But when you're in the energy, it's just what comes through of what needs to be shared. And I really love the way that the raw and realness comes through when we have the intentions to serve and we have the intentions to support. And thank you so much for being in this space, because I know that there is going to be somebody that's watching one of these 8-minute snippets or watching the whole episode. And if we can be just part of healing that person, being part of giving them some inspirational transformation, then, as I say, it's a ripple effect. And I keep saying that, I just love it. So thank you so much, Shannon, for being here.